Zidane Danny, Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to Electro Ninja's Lab. I am here with my fellow host,
I'm Jack, and
and
this is Nerd Chat.
this is Nerd Chat. We're having fun. I'm already losing it, but that's okay. uh, but yeah, this is the week. This is Skandar week. For those of us who are living here in America, we are getting Skandar like in 2 days. Skandar 5 is officially coming out on Tuesday. So, yeah. Obviously, this is coming out on Monday. We are recording this on Saturday, and we are extremely excited. I have mine already pre-ordered for on Audible, and I have the physical copy coming into to my local Barnes and Noble. I am so ready to get this. This is gonna be freaking fantastic. Ugh. But yes, Skandar 5, it's officially coming. And we're probably not going to talk too much about Skandar 5 specifically because of the fact that obviously we've talked extensively about our thoughts about what could happen with Skandar 5. Um, but what we really need to talk about is the fact that we are getting a prequel to Skandar with in the world of Skandar, the first unicorn rider, which I am so excited for this, and it's coming out in about 2 months, which is insane. I I honestly can't
I think
believe
she's
that.
been working on it for a while and just hasn't told anybody about it, which is wild.
Yeah, like she had to have been. She had to have been working on this for a while, and that is insane to me because that means that not only has she been working on Skandar 5, she's been working on the first Unicorn Rider, and she's been working on Timeless, which isn't that's not coming out until one more year from now. That's supposed to be September of 2026. Um, which, granted, uh, Timeless is different. It is going to be, as she has put it, that is going to be her first adult fantasy series, which, um, obviously, we might read it. I will probably read it. I will get it and read it just so that I can, just to support her mostly. Um, but needless to say, it kind of makes me nervous. But yeah, Skandar and the Spirit War. That is out in 2 days. That is insanity. And it's already out in England, as far as I'm aware. It might be out in a few other places as well, but the UK specifically, it is out. It came out 2 days ago for us, um, and people are already posting pictures of them getting it, which not surprising in the slightest, because that is obviously people are excited. I'm excited. I'm excited for them, and I cannot wait to get the book because it's freaking amazing. Uh, but yeah, um, Skandar 5. It's finally coming to America, and yes, but we should talk about the first ride. We weren't thinking about actually doing a Skandar video, Skandar nerd chat this week because we talked about it last week and a few weeks before. Basically, we've talked about this book extensively about all our theories and what we're excited to see and all that jazz. Um, so this is gonna be our first time like. So we didn't really need to talk too much about it, but the first Unicorn Rider, obviously we've gotten like hints at what happened with him, mostly in Phantom Rider, a little bit in uh, there was a little bit here and there in 3 and 4, um, but most of it's pretty hidden. And then it looks like we're going to be getting a good amount in 5 because just based on the back cover that we've talked about. Um,
This is true.
So we're probably going to see at least stuff about the first 5 children. So my guess as to what exactly the first Unicorn Rider is going to be about, it's probably going to start at the point, maybe a little bit before. Um, he washed up on the island. But I imagine that it's probably going to take place over several years. Um, Most likely, the first chapter is going to be like talking about how he met the unicorn. Then a few chapters in, we'll be seeing more about like learning about the unicorns, and probably like in the later half of the book, we'll be seeing how he set up the island and stuff like that. Um, and it's probably going to be a very different type of book compared to the rest of the Skandar series, because obviously the rest of the Skandar series is 1 year at a time. But I imagine that this won't be, just due to the fact that there's a lot of history and he had to learn a lot of this as he grew up. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm excited to see exactly what they're gonna do. Um, Obviously, we need to. I don't think we're gonna see like the bone staff being made, because that's something that happens really late. Um, Although it is possible that we will see that, and the reason why he's kind of stuck around for so long. But it's a possibility, but it's probably not very likely. Most of the stuff is probably going to be, like I said, Skandar. More information about, like I said, how he became a unicorn rider, how he learned about the elements, and stuff like that. Um, Delving more in detail than we've ever seen in the rest of the books. And I'm excited. It's fun. It's fun to like think about what exactly she's gonna do with that. What do you think
It
is
is.
what do you think's gonna happen?
I'm honestly, I don't have any idea what she's gonna do. I'm just super excited because anything in the Skandar universe, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I am thrilled because this is gonna give more information on how writers work in general.
Yeah.
Because right now we are deep in the future of writers, and it's like a thing, it's just that's what that's what they do. Writers, that's what they do.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I would love to see, you know, the very beginning where it's like, okay, this is why writers exist.
Yep. Yeah. And I it's it's intriguing to think about for sure, because like we know that the first unicorn rider didn't really know how to describe um what he was aligned to. So he understood he knew clearly he knew that that was a thing, because he saw that the other riders were aligned more closely to a specific element than he was. But he wasn't. And how exactly that's going to work out, because we know that we've seen wild unicorn riders in the abomination that it is, in that of Kenna and other unicorn riders. She has like some aspects of it that are better than others when it comes to her and Goshawk, but it really isn't that good. It's not a good situation that she's in. Meanwhile, from what we're seeing with a lot of what the first rider is going to be going through, is he was actually supposed to. This is the unicorn that he was destined for, but because it hatched wild, and mending didn't yet exist. I think that's what that's going to be a lot of the pure version of it, the pure version of being a wild unicorn rider. So, I don't know. It's hard to say. And it's also going to be interesting to see what's going to happen to Kenna in 5, because she's obviously going to get mended, as is. So, does that mean that she's going to lose a lot of her mutations, or what's going to happen there? Or is her unicorn going to be a just I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't know. There's a lot. There's a lot of things that I think are going to be very similar in talking when it comes to Kenna and the first Unicorn Rider, because both of them were bonded to wild unicorns. But
Right.
the difference being is that Kenna is basically is what happens to her. What happened to her is an abomination. It is something evil was done to her. And she was never and her and the unicorn, as much as they do love each other, they were not meant to be together, and there's a lot of disconnect there. Meanwhile, Kenna and the first riders, Unicorn and him, were meant to be together. They were always meant to be together. So yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say, and I'm wondering if I'm kind of wondering if it's just going to be about him and his experience with that, or if we're going to be seeing a lot more from the first children and and like the different the people from across the world, because we do know that there are riders that several of the first riders he traveled all over the world just to see what exactly happened, to recruit riders to bring them to the island. So I don't know. It's hard to say. And we don't know exactly how long ago this was either. Is the other thing. We know. Let's see. So we know the mainland found out about unicorns. What was that? A few. Barely over a decade. Because it was shortly before Skandar was born. Was when they first found out about unicorns.
Right.
Possibly shortly before Kenna was born. It's hard to say exactly which, because it was right around the time that she left. We know that that their mother left the island, and then maybe a year later they realized, oh, if we're gonna kick out the all of the spirit wielders, we need other riders. We need people who are able to be riders that are not just, yeah. So I don't know. There's a lot with it, and so my main thing that I'm thinking about though is that it's long enough that people don't exactly remember him, and the tree was able to grow to its massive height. So is that like thousands of years ago, or is it hundreds of years ago? Is my main question.
Well, I would imagine the tree is magical, so it's probably hundreds.
Probably. Like, I would say that at the earliest, it would probably be I don't know. Like I can't like at the earliest that it could possibly be is maybe 1,000 years ago at the absolute latest, because there wasn't that much exploration around England by a lot of people, except for like the Norse and much earlier than that. So
True.
I don't know. It's got to because from what it sounds like is that it had to have been when there were people like sailing around in that area. A lot of stuff with Ireland and England and all that jazz. Possibly like right around the same. I would imagine it might be around the same time that like St. Patrick was around. Is what I'm imagining. But
That would make sense.
I can't guarantee that, but that's like something I'm imagining. We'll see for sure once the book comes out, but it's just so hard to really imagine when it will be, because it's long enough that people have forgotten him, like exactly who he was and all that jazz. But it's not like they knew that there was the first Unicorn Rider, but they weren't like fully aware of the fact that he rode a wild unicorn.
That's true.
because yeah, we remember the spirit wielders. They told the story the way that it was similar to how it was, where he where the first unicorn rider and the unicorn queen were friends, but they're pretty much the only ones who did. Everyone else was very much, oh, they were enemies. And it's interesting to wonder what exactly led them down that path. Were they did they kind of portray that idea to the rest of the riders? And because of the fact that if I'm remembering correctly, the spirit wielder was his favorite child. um I so maybe she just happened to know more than the rest did, and maybe they just like kind of kept themselves secretive-ish. I don't know. Hard to say. I don't know.
I truly have no idea, but I'm excited to read it.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I don't know. It's exciting, and I honestly can't wait. I am. Uh, but yeah, obviously Skandar 5. Why don't we talk a little bit about Skandar 5, because it's the Spirit War. So we know that that Skandar is going to have allies, as which mostly I'm imagining it's going to be spirit wielders are going to be the main ones on his side, and then the silvers are going to sure, there's going to be others. Obviously his friends, there's going to be people who, I don't know. It's my big thing that I'm thinking about is how several people, it sounded like a lot of people cheered when Skandar won, but we really didn't see much of exactly what was going on outside of that. Whether or not Skandar was whether people were pissed off or thrilled that Rex did what he did, because that was awful. That was really bad. I don't know. The stuff with Rex is just concerning. It's really concerning. I don't know. I'm like, I imagine people who hate spirit wielders. Everyone who hates the spirit wielders, they're probably on Rex's side, which is mostly the Silver Circle, granted. But then the rest of them are other spirit. But then a lot of the people who weren't allowed to check the door. There are people who lost who have unicorns who do appreciate Skandar. It's not many, but there are several who I think that a lot of them turned to him after he won. He literally won against a silver, and they knew that he wasn't that he was doing this to help people, to help the spirit wielders. So, yeah, I don't know. It's I hope that that people who that will be seeing a lot more of the spirit wielders, like I said, as well as people who weren't able to test the door. But I'm also curious, do you think any silvers are going to turn to Skandar's side?
I feel like there's at least one silver who's a spirit wielder, and they will probably
Yeah. They'll probably join him.
turn to Skandar's side. Yeah.
Yeah. So, firstly, I think Flo is probably going to be working that side, basically trying to looking for a good for basically chinks in the armor to basically stop Rex, and she's basically working from the inside to help out Skandar. I think that that's going to be something that we'll find out pretty early. Whether
He better be. Otherwise, I'm gonna be real pissed.
Yeah, I think we'll find out that early. It might take a little bit longer for Skandar too, but I think as soon as he goes to the secret swappers, he'll find out exactly what's going on there. So yeah, so she's gonna be really involved there. Um, I also think so. There was that one guy that was being constantly abused by Rex, and almost seemed like he was kind of on Skandar's side. I'm not certain if he is a spirit wielder himself, or if he's just gonna be someone who didn't really like Skandar, who didn't really like Rex, and so he's going to fight against him and join Skandar's side. I think there's a decent possibility.
I can see it going both ways.
Yeah, I could absolutely. I could see it going both ways. Um, Whether he is a spirit wielder, we know that there are silver spirit riders, based on what we heard. We also know that there are wild silvers. So what if Kenna has a silver unicorn?
That was our prediction.
That was our prediction. And granted, we specifically said that, oh no, the Doppelgray isn't actually a silver unicorn. But it was going to get the name Silver Lining as basically a thing to show that it was good, that it was able to be free and stuff like that. And we weren't expecting it to be a silver. But what if she does that and it just is a silver? Part of me is thinking, because we've never actually seen a silver hatch, we just know that that Flo's did hatch into a silver. We heard her scream, and then everyone found her after Silverblade had hatched. So I'm wondering two things about what exactly happens with silvers. One, I think that silver unicorns, one, they hatch as basically they start out as some other color, and then they grow the silver, almost pretty quickly. With the only difference being kind of like similar to what happened with the with spirit unicorns, because obviously Scoundrel started out as a black unicorn and then grew the spirit blaze.
Right.
So I'm wondering if that's a similar situation to what happens with a silver unicorn. And I'm also wondering if with a silver unicorn that is also a spirit unicorn, if it grows the blaze first and then the silver grows around it, basically hiding the blaze entirely. So that pretty much the silver spirit unicorns are only able to be they look silver. They just look like silver unicorns. It doesn't matter what exactly they are. I don't know. And another thing that I'm wondering about when it comes to the spirit to silver spirits, or really any silver unicorn. Actually, silver spirits. That's the important one to talk about. Is if a silver spirit walks the fault lines, if their owner can basically say, "Hey, make it only light up with this one element." Kind of like it's a similar situation. It's a similar but different situation to what happened with Skandar, because basically what happened with Skandar and Scoundrel is all four lit up, and then when he went for the water, then it stuck with water. It changed to water. So I'm wondering if if you beg your silver to do said thing, if it will just stick with whatever you're saying from the get-go. So maybe, I'm just using Flo as an example. I'm not saying that she is a silver spirit wielder, What if she walked the fault lines and was in her head saying, choose Earth, choose Earth, choose Earth, or choose anything but Spirit. Pretend that it's not Spirit. Whatever you do, and Blaze and Silver Blade chose Earth to be its pretend element, and then they wrote off as Earth rather than actually being Spirit. Which would also
But Flo was allowed to try the door, so that means she's not a spirit wielder.
see the thing that I'm thinking about that though is that they may specifically change their mind about that with Silvers, because it sounds like so they're able to tell if there's like a strong connection to a specific if there's a strong connection to a specific element, and that's how they figure out that spirit wielders. What if it's also like way stronger if they're a silver?
That would be interesting.
Because we know that they do tests on the island. So, what if she was a spirit wielder, and they told her you are a spirit wielder, but you have to choose another element, and they told her this stuff like really early. I'm not saying that Flo is a spirit wielder. I don't think that I think that would be very weird if she ended up actually being one. But yeah, I don't know. Some of the I just feel like it's odd. It's an odd situation to for them to be in, because we know. Let's see. So Rex was the last spirit wielder, right? Or not the last spirit wielder, the last silver before Flo, right?
Right.
We know that the other silver that he was basically abusing, we don't know exactly what's going on with him, but we know that he seemed young. To a certain degree, he kind of felt like he had to be the way that he was acting. He felt like he was younger than Rex. I don't think that's the case, but I think that it would be reasonable to assume that he was around the same age as Rex. So I don't know. It's hard to say exactly with that, because it sounds like there were not silvers really since the whole, hey, we can't have unicorns on the main. We cannot let the unicorns, or we have to recruit unicorn riders from the mainland. Only Rex in all those years. So I'm one, and Rex and Flo was at the same year as Skandar, who was a spirit wielder. So I don't know. It's hard to say for sure, but yeah, maybe it's like if there's a really you can tell, maybe they can tell that someone's going to be a silver. But another thing that really drives me crazy is that there are no silvers from the mainland.
Yeah, that is weird.
So why are there no silvers from the mainland? My theory about that as well is that, one, if they are a spirit wielder at all from the mainland, no, we cannot afford to even bring them to the island. Doesn't matter if there's a silver unicorn, we won't have the time to prep them for this. If there's a chance that they're that they're silver, we don't have time to prep them because this is basically happening within a few hours. So they don't have time to prep somebody. But on the island, they do have time to prep them. Say, hey, there's a good chance that you're a silver, but there's also a good chance you're a spirit wielder. So here's what you do if you end up being a spirit wielder, and you're a silver. Go down talk to your unicorn, make sure that they say a specific element. so that it hides it from the rest. We don't want people knowing that silvers are spirits. So I don't know. It's really hard to say with that. But also, it's silvers are very strong in all of the elements. We know that even though they are aligned to a specific element, like Flo is pretty strong with the other elements, even though she is mostly using Earth. We've seen how strong she is with other elements as well. So so they know that so there's probably like some really strong inkling towards that, but I don't know. It's really hard to say with that. But also, Blade constantly fought her, like as much, if not more so, than Scoundrel fought Skandar, because we know that mostly because we saw it, that Scoundrel fought Skandar because of the fact that he was that he wanted to use the spirit element, but he couldn't.
True.
And, from what we understand, Blade fought Flo because of the fact that he wanted to use all way more powerful elements. It's because the Blade is extremely powerful. That's the reason. But that feels odd to me. I don't know. That feels like that's not the full reason for sure. I don't know. So I don't know. There's a lot with it, and I'm theorizing, and like I said, I don't necessarily expect to see that Flo is a spirit wielder. I feel like that would be that might be a bit much, to start off with, but it feels odd to me, the reaction that she got from the secret swappers. Because, like, what exactly was was her secret that was so juicy that they wanted to tell? They wanted to actually. They really liked that secret. That was like the main. That was like. It wasn't as big as Skandar's, because Skandar did the whole thing talking about his mom. But it was the only other one that was juicy enough. We know what some of the we know Bobby gave a secret about the mainland, and we know that Mitchell probably gave the secret about him and Jamie being together. But we don't know what Flo's was. And we obviously know what Skandar's was because, yeah. But what was Flo's? Because it feels important to what's going to happen in the next book. Is it, I love Skandar? Is it that she loves Skandar? Because that feels like it's not juicy enough for them.
Yeah, it does feel like one of those ones where they'd be like, yeah, everyone knows that.
Yeah. Like, not necessarily everyone knows that, because, like, it wasn't fully obvious at that point with Phantom Rider, because it was at Phantom Rider that they did the secret swappers. Like, she clearly had feelings for him, but it wasn't like fully obvious that she loved him. But that also doesn't feel juicy enough for them. So yeah, I feel like it has to be important, and it also has to be something that she wants Skandar to know, because she specifically told him to go to the secret swappers. Which I don't know. There has to be something with that, and I'm wondering if it is accurate. Like, is she a spirit wielder? That feels odd. That feels really odd for that to be something that she's doing. that she would be a spirit wielder, but at the same time, it would make sense why she, especially, um, like, I don't know. There's a lot, it's possible that the only other person who knows is Rex. So yeah. But also another thing that I'm thinking about when it comes to the secret swappers is someone's got to do digging up on the whole Skandar being the son of the Weaver. That's got to come to light in this in 5. It feels like it's a loose end, and that's going to come out, and it's going to be something that is going to determine whether or not people are actually going to follow Skandar. Like, everyone knows that his sister is the second Weaver.
True.
Do they know that she? I don't think very many people. If anyone does, I don't think very many people know. But I think that some people know that she's the daughter of the Weaver.
Which would make him the son of the Weaver.
Yeah, like that would have to be the case. They've got to, like, some people will come to that conclusion, I would think, but I don't know. It's really hard to determine with that. But like I said, I can't imagine the stuff about the secret swappers. Both of their secrets, I feel like they have to come to light in this book. That's a big one. Those are big secrets, and there's no way that they're just going to be like, oh yeah, those are just the fact that he's the son of the Weaver is just sitting there. Just sitting.
Yeah, that wouldn't make any sense.
Right there, and Rex doesn't use that. I mean, come on. He's going to use it. He's going to use it to take to destroy to try to destroy Skandar. But yeah, I don't know. I'm too excited. I'm really, really excited, and I kind of want to, like, I don't know. Part of me wants to have us both sit down while while I listen and read, and you read the book, and just, like, pause it every now and again and be like, what the fuck happened here? I don't know. So I don't know. There's a lot with that, and I'm like,
I can see that. That would be fun.
That would be very fun. And you're are you getting the book on release day, or are you not able to?
Maybe.
Okay. We'll figure it out. We'll discuss this over the next few days. But yeah, that's gonna be my main thing. Is gonna be just, like, sitting down that day and just listening and reading the book simultaneously, because that's exciting. I am so excited, and that will probably be my only thing that I will be doing that day. There will be for those of you who do get excited for the live streams, there will be a Final Fantasy 14 live stream in the morning, but it's not going to be a long one. So be aware of that, because I've got to go and pick up my book. But yeah, we'll see exactly how that plays out and all that jazz. But yeah, Skandar. But yeah, first Unicorn Rider. We really don't know much about him. We really don't. Like, as much as we think that we know a decent amount about him, there's so much in there that we really don't know. And I'm kind of glad that she's doing the sequel, the prequel series, the prequel book. But it also gets me wondering: do you think that she's going to do multiple prequels?
That's a good question.
Because, like, obviously we see the first Unicorn Rider, and it has the tagline at the very beginning, "The World of Skandar." So that makes me wonder if we're going to see more from the world of Skandar. It's kind of a similar situation to what we have with uh, the Sun and the Star from Rick Riordan, and I'm forgetting what his the other author's name is, but that is the world of Percy Jackson. So I'm wondering if we're going to see more stuff about the from the world of Skandar, stuff about like maybe the First Children is a separate book. Maybe maybe there will be a book about Skandar's aunt and mom with Agatha and Erica. Like that would be fun. That would be extremely fun to see them get a book, or more. Maybe there will be a book about, I don't know, different writers throughout the story of the series. Maybe there will be a future series. I would like to see like what happened a few years later after after Skandar fixed the island, because that there's a lot that needs to be fixed about the island even after Skandar wins. It's not going to be fixed in one year after Skandar, like however long it's going to take. It's going to take Skandar and his friends multiple years to fix the island as a whole. So, yeah. I don't know. There's a lot with that, and I'm kind of terrified. I don't know. There's so much with it, and I can't wait to see all of the unicorns and all that jazz getting fixed and saved, and Skandar 5. It's going to be a fantastic end to this journey, and I want to keep seeing more from her. I hope that she keeps whatever happens. I want her to keep writing. So even though Skandar is coming to an end this year, with the possibility of there being more books in the future, but it looks like she's going to be going down the direction of her other book before throughout at least she's probably going to be talking a lot more about that book in 2026. I'm kind of concerned about the fact that it is an adult fantasy series from the writer of Skandar. Because on the picture that she shares, it says from the internationally best-selling author of the Skandar series, right on the temporary cover, and it's probably going to have that on the future cover as well. So I'm
That's
hoping
probably true.
So I'm hoping that it's not going to be like too extreme adult. I'm thinking like maybe a few F-bombs in there, a few things for like I don't think that she's gonna. I'm hoping that she doesn't like put in like she doesn't go too ham on the adult stuff. Especially considering the fact that this will be her first adult book. I'm hoping that and she's known for a children's book, or what's considered a children's book. So I don't know. I know that there's a lot of people that are reading Skandar that are not children. Case in point, us. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of people who will be there's a lot of kids who read her book, who read her books. So I'm hoping that it's not going to be too extreme, to say the least. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. It's gonna be fun. Whatever. I will read it. I don't know if you're gonna read it. I'll tell you what it's like. But yeah. Anyways, we've been rambling. We're losing the point. I've been rambling mostly. But yeah, we'll like I said, once both of us have read it, which I'm hoping will be by the end of the next week, we will be doing a Nerd Chat review of Skandar 5. So expect that either next week or it might be a little bit longer depending on what happens with Jack figuring out the book, reading the book. But hopefully we'll be able to both read it on release day. But yeah. I'm excited. Like I said, we'll see exactly how things pan out. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed today's Nerd Chat, though, and are looking forward to Skandar as much as we are, because this is going to be fun. This is going to be really freaking fun to just, yeah. Anyways, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this Nerd Chat. I've been Electro Ninja, he's been Jack, and we will see you guys next time. But on!